Cripsilog.
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 Hi!
Hello, welcome everyone.
Good morning.
This is Cripsilog.
Ay, di, parang
Basta,
mas gusto ko. Good evening.
Good evening. This is Cripsilog, where we talk about creepy things,
And your mom.
murder, disappearances,
And taxes.
paranormal activity. What
How,
yung movie?
how to
Get away.
handle your finances.
Ano ka get away with murder?
Entrepreneurship.
Yeah.
Self-help.
Self-help. Yeah.
Praise and worship.
Wow, napakalawak pala ng scope natin. I didn't know.
But for now, serial killers.
For this season. Eventually, pupunta din tayo sa self-help.
Oh, by the way, this is Glenn.
Hi, this is Gideon. Kamusta?
Kamusta mga araw nyo? Did you miss our serial killer stuff?
Kasi we're back for more.
Yeah. Hanggang maumay ka.
Oo.
Dalawa lang yan. Maumay ka or may inspire ka.
May inspire talaga.
Choose wisely. Okay, sino ang
For today, our
Yes.
serial killer
our lucky serial killer for today
is Richard Ramirez, the Night
Ooh.
Stalker.
Pilipino ba si Kuya Richard
Ay, ano
Ramirez?
lang. May pagka-Hispanic lang.
Kasi
Mexican.
ang kanyang
talaga.
pangalan ay very
Ah,
I'm sure
Very
pag
Pinoy.
nag-search tayo sa Facebook ng Richard Ramirez,
May
we have
makikita tayo.
27 mutual friends. Try nga natin.
Pinoy na Pinoy. Ako nga, tinatype ko na eh.
Try
Richard Ramirez. Oo, meron nga. Shit. How does it feel na living
Yeah, sharing a name
the shadows
with,
of-
serial killer.
Night Stalker?
Like I always say, try to make a name for yourself.
Ang hirap nito kasi you're living in the shadows. Shadows. May mali ako ng tono.
Oh, okay.
Ay, pang ilan na to? Pang 8, no?
Number 8.
Okay.
Okay, magka-countdown ba tayo ulit?
Oo. By now, kabisado nyo na ba? Sige.
Jeffrey Dahmer,
The Milwaukee Cannibal,
John Wayne Gacy,
The Killer Clown, Andre,
Chikatilo,
The Butcher, Red Butcher,
Tsutomu Miyazaki,
The Otaku Murderer,
Ed Gein,
The Plainfield Ghoul, BTK Killer, Dennis Rader, BTK
And-
Killer.
H.H. Holmes.
Kasi hindi ko siya alam.
Wala, H.H. Holmes din. siya.
Like ano.
Yun na yun. Just like BTK.
Okay.
Pero kung bibigyan natin, wala naman siya bigyan ng ano.
Oo. Ikaw, kung bibigyan mo siya.
Entrepreneur of the Year.
Sa practicality ni Kuya.
Yes.
Na wala siyang byproduct. Ayun, hindi. I mean, anong tawag doon?
Waste.
Waste. Wala siyang waste kasi ginagamit niya lahat.
Yes. And make money out of it.
Yep.
So sa lahat ng serial killers natin so far, si Kuya H.H. Holmes pa lang ang kumita.
Oo. So, na parang, ano.
Well, wala naman kasi siyang erectile problems. So,
Wala siyang sexual fantasies.
Mhm.
More on, ano to?
Pera.
Fascination? Pera?
Pera, third world reasons.
Okay. Because he had a hotel to maintain.
Mhm.
Mahirap magka-hotel. Kala nyo ba?
Yeah. Richard Ramirez, I don't really know that much.
Yeah, Richard
about
Ramirez, the Night Stalker.
Him. Ooh, excited.
Wow, very Balanard. Ay, sorry, Dota reference. Naglalaro ka man Dota? Ano lang?
Gamer din ako.
Oo, talaga, nalalaro
Yes.
mo.
Gardenscapes,
Ano yun?
homescapes.
Homescapes. Yung nagagawa ng bahay ba yan?
Yes, Candy Crush.
Candy Crush.
It's the gamer life.
Candy Crush.
Hindi ka kasi nanonood pag nagla-live ako sa Facebook.
Ay, wow, may pa-live pa ng Candy Crush. Ano ang tawag ng awesome? Ano ba yung mga
Awesome.
delicious? May ganun ba?
Interesting.
Doon mo ba nakuha yung interest?
Uy, may nalimutan tayong batiin.
Ano, sino?
Si Yaya Percy.
Ay, sorry. Ay. Wherever you are.
May naghahanap kay Yaya Percy.
Oo nga eh. Parang dapat every episode meron.
Yes, and hopefully sa story ni Richard Ramirez may ma-trigger kang memory na
Sana
ginawa sa'yo ni Yaya.
I'm focusing my mind right now. Sana meron.
Right.
Okay, so let's get right into it.
Yes, I'm ready. My body's
My
ready.
body's ready. Richard Ramirez, the Night Stalker. During a 2-year rampage, a sadistical serial killer broke into Californian homes, raping, mutilating, and torturing its victims.
Wait.
Wow.
Raping, mutilating, and torturing.
Torturing.
So RMT killer siya.
Kung siya yung mag-iisip, RMT killer.
Sasabayan niya si BTK.
Although, kaya lang, it's not his character. Hindi siya magana. Gusto niya lang pumatay. Parang he doesn't give a fuck about what you think.
Oh, I love it. Kasi if you recall, guys, BTK killer
BTK.
really sought fame to the point of ang ridiculous niya na.
Oo. Gusto niya, parang he has this in his head kung paano, parang kung meron siyang TV show, kung may movie, gusto ko ganito yung
Yeah.
title, ganito dapat.
Notorious for being notorious.
Oo.
So, opposite niya si Richard, Kuya Richard.
Gusto niya lang pumatay.
Great.
Okay. So, Ricardo Leiva Ramirez was born on the 28th of February 1960 in El Paso, Texas. The youngest child of 7. Youngest ka ba?
Mag-isa.
Ako youngest. So, may tendency. To a Mexican-American railway worker known as Richard or Ricky or Dick or
Sabi
Dick.
sa'yo, Pinoy ito.
Ricky.
Ricky.
Hoy, Ricky.
Ano yung isa? Vic?
Hindi, wala ako lang nagsabi ng Dick. Di ba Richard, Dick?
Yeah, Dick.
Ramirez had a troubled childhood and a heavily influenced by an older cousin, a Green Beret net named Mike, who told fascinating stories about the torture and mutilation that he had inflicted on Vietnamese women during his time in the Vietnam War.
So, Green Beret, I'm
Ano
assuming, is like a
group ba
soldier,
to?
army.
Army siya.
Okay.
Nung Vietnam War. He corroborated these stories with horrific Polaroid pictures. So, pinakitaan niya pa ng picture si Richard Ramirez ng mga tortures na ginawa niya sa Vietnam. They smoked marijuana together, and his teenage rebellion led to petty crime to fuel his drug habit. So, yung pinsan niyang si Mike talaga to eh.
Gago si Mike
Kung ano nang pinapakita sa bata eh.
All of us have a cousin na Mike na gago.
Bakit? Michael, ganun, Mike. Pero, yan. Asan na yan? They smoked marijuana together or fun times. Which further alienated him from his Catholic parents. He spent even more time with his cousin as a result. When Mike murdered his wife, whilst Ramirez was present, the final seeds were sown for the development of the modus operandi of the young killer who became known as the Night Stalker, who terrorized the state of California for almost a year in the mid-1980s.
Oh, I love it. I love the intro. Hindi to Wikipedia.
Hindi to Wikipedia. Maganda to. crimeandinvestigation.co.uk. His criminal record began in 1977 when he is placed in juvenile detention for a string of petty crimes, and he also received a probationary sentence in 1982 for marijuana possession. He moved to San Francisco and then LA, progressing to cocaine addiction and burglary. Hirap na hirap ako sa mga GL. Strangulation, burglary, rural, cultivating an interest in weapons and Satanism. Very, vocal siya dun sa Satanism aspect.
Ay?
Kasi until dun sa nahuli siya sa trials niya, meron siya mga pentagram, mga ganon.
Exciting. Shout out to Satan.
Yep. Hail Satan.
Hail.
A car theft charge in 1983 led to a jail sentence for which he was released in April 1984. A conscienceless satanic criminal with poor hygiene, rotten teeth, and no prospect. Kadiri yung poor hygiene. Pero pag titignan mo yung ngipin nga niya, medyo scary. Nakaka-add sa scary factor.
Hey, Google time.
Kasi, pag yung meron siyang
Richard.
ang laki ng mata niya and then crooked yung ngipin.
Teeth.
So, yun. Nung dinidescribe nga siya ng mga victims niya. Ganun. Yeah, look at that.
Okay, yeah. Richard Ramirez, just a very quick description sa kanyang mugshot and his infamous teeth. imagine nyo yung suklay.
Mhm.
Yun na yun.
Mas
Yun
malaki
yung
yung mata
kanyang
niya.
teeth.
Like, lalo pa pag siguro in his rampage, ang laki ng mata niya.
I would cast sa kanyang role sa
O, kunyari,
siguro,
life story.
life story. Who's this guy?
Franco.
Franco apelido.
Like yung David, ayun, tag doon.
Older,
Older
brother.
brother. Si Green Goblin, dun sa Spider-Man.
niya.
Oo. Sa, ano yun?
Pangalan niya?
Nakalimutan ko na. Dave.
Franco?
Keme Franco? Wait, kaya natin to.
Nang hindi i-google.
Nang hindi ginugoogle, pero I'm googling now. Malapit na. Ito na siya. Ang tagal. James Franco. Diyos ko po. Pero pangit. Oo.
Grabe
my
ka
God.
sa pangit.
Or yung kapatid niya.
So,
Sobrang skinny niya. And
very
then,
skinny. Tapos pareho kami ng kilay.
ay wow.
Yung malad.
Paano?
Ang makapal kasi kilay niya tapos
Oo.
parang demonyo.
Oo.
Yeah.
Okay.
But his most distinguishing features are his teeth.
And pasok din siya sa trifecta criteria natin kasi nahulog din siya. Meron siyang head trauma nung bata sa swing. So napalakas yung swing.
Shout out to Yaya. Di ba inulog ka niya?
Hinulog ako like nung kumakain. Nakwento ko na yun, di ba?
Tapos yun sa kama.
While I was sitting, ayaw kong
Ah.
kainin yung malunggay na hinulog niya ako. Who wants to eat malunggay anyway? So ito may head trauma din si Richard Ramirez. Ramirez's, ang hirap first known murder took place on the 28th of June 1984. His victim was 79-year-old Jenny Vincao.
79?
Parang ang nakakainis naman yung mga gantong murderer na ang targets mo oldies na parang they're helpless. Parang you can completely overpower.
Unfair. It's so unfair.
Na parang, dude, come on. Yung pick somebody your own size.
Yeah.
Parang ganun yung dating, diba? Who was visually, sexually assaulted.
What?
Lola. Oh my God. Stabbed and murdered during a burglary in her own home.
Stress ako doon.
Parang, Lola na, 79. Ayaw nga nating makita yung picture ni Melisandre nung oldie siya That famous photo, the real Melisandre.
Tinanggal niya yung jewel.
His second known case occurred nearly 9 months later. On 17th of March 1985, when he attacked Angela Barrios, who managed to escape him, and then killed her flatmate Dale Okazaki. Not satisfied with these assaults, he also shot and killed Tsai Lian Yu the same evening, which started a media frenzy that saw Ramirez dubbed as the Valley Intruder by the press.
Oh, yun yung first niya.
And
you know what's the best part? Hindi siya yung nag-nickname sa sarili.
Oo nga. Hindi siya yung nag-suggest.
Yeah.
Yung media yung nagsabi ng name.
Right. You should never give yourself a nickname.
Parang,
dapat iba ang
weird
magbigay sa'yo.
Oo.
That's the only way it would stick.
Parang, bida-bida ka ba? 27th March saw the murder of 64-year-old Vincent Zazara and his 44-year-old wife, Maxine, in an attack pattern that was to be repeated later by Ramirez. The husband was shot first, then the wife was brutally assaulted and was stabbed to death. In this case, he also gouged out Maxine Zazara's eyes. No way. What for?
Ni-rape ba siya?
Oo, ni-rape yung si Maxine. Pinatay muna yung asawa. Then raped Maxine. 44. Okay, mas bata. 44-year-olds si Maxine. And then 64 si Vincent. And gouged eyes. Ew. For somebody na walang medical background. So you can imagine how dirty the process is or how a full-scale police operation yielded no concrete results. And he repeated his attack pattern on pensioners William and Lily Doy in April.
So matatanda na.
Oo. Target niya matanda. Which is, come on, man. Ba't matanda? Parang, kaya mo sila eh. Sobrang easy. Parang, di mo ba kaya yung, somebody
May
strong?
may reaction din na mamaya.
Sige. I-note mo ba? Makalimutan mo yan.
Yeah.
Over the next 2 months, Ramirez's attack patterns escalated rapidly to claim another dozen victims in a frenzy of burglary, assault, and brutal violence, complete with satanic rituals that drove LA into panic. Kasi minsan nagkaano pa siya eh. Sa isang bahay ng victim niya, nagdrawing pa siya ng pentagram
Yung
sa bed.
yung inverted star.
Yep. Yeah. Kaya may paganyan siyang satanic eme.
Yeah, and I think if I remember correctly, nung time na yun, meron talagang satanic panic
Oo.
sa
US.
yeah.
Kasi dito ba nag-start si Sino ba yung sa Satanism? Nakalimutan ko yung name niya eh.
Si Anton LaVey.
Yeah, that guy. Although, we're not saying na Satanists are bad guys kasi they're actually...
They have virtues.
Yeah, they have
Yeah,
more
yeah.
virtues than the Bible anyway. So. Hindi kasi if you can read through the commandments nila, sobrang babait sila.
Don't harm children.
Yeah. Sobrang opposite ng Bible.
Are we saying binasa natin pareho yan?
Well,
I didn't know binasa mo rin. But
it's
yes,
not wrong.
I've encountered that.
Pero magugulat ka na they are really nice. A dedicated task force was established comprising of hundreds of officers, and the FBI stepped in to assist as the press demanded that the police do more to catch the killer. Kasi you can imagine the panic. Diba? Kasi shit, pumapasok siya sa bahay, papatayin ka niya.
Yeah. Home invasion.
This relentless media and police pressure, aided with photo fit descriptions from his surviving victims, forced Ramirez to leave Los Angeles area in August, and he moved to San Francisco, where he took his first victims, Peter and Barbara Pan, on 17th of August. His unmistakable MO, complete with satanic symbolism, meant that this Valley Intruder moniker was no longer applicable, and that the press quickly dubbed him the Night Stalker.
Mas gusto ko yan. I love it.
Nakakatawa na, ay shit, hindi na siya sa
Mali
Valley.
na siya.
Lumayo na siya, hindi na siya sa Valley.
Nag-expand yung reach niya. And
Shit, hindi na applicable yung Valley Intruder.
is not just intruding.
So, Night Stalker na lang. So, let's, parang, imagine mo yung mga press nun. No? Shit, hindi na pwede Valley Intruder.
Palit.
Iba na. And the new attack received exhaustive press coverage. Ramirez's next attack on 24th of August 1985 led to the identification of his stolen car by the victim 4 days later. After a televised appeal, the car was found complete with his fingerprints inside, and his criminal record enabled the police to finally put a name to the Night Stalker. Meron pang isang nangyari na muntik na siyang mahuli kasi may footprint ng, di ba, syempre sa damo-damo, nakasapatos siya eh. So, yung footprint, dun niya, malapit na lang mahuli si Richard Ramirez via the print.
Shoe print.
Oo. Kaya lang, parang merong isang bida-bidang public official na nagsabi na malapit na namin siya mahuli because of the footprint. The next morning, may nakita silang lumulutang na shoes do sa ilog nila doon. Apparently, nalaman ni Richard Ramirez na tinapon niya yung shoes niya yun.
You know, minsan talaga kalaban yung media? Coverage sa mga ganyan. Remember yung hostage taking sa bus?
Yeah.
Diba napanood niya sa TV sa bus, yung kapatid niya na hinuhuli ng police.
Hinaharas in a way ng mga police.
Tapos yun nang nag-trigger.
Kaya napatay niya yung iba din. So, ito yung mga crimes ni Night Stalker. So, now na si Jenny Vinco, yung 79-year-old. Ramirez attacked 22-year-old Maria Hernandez outside her home in Rosemead, shooting her in the face with a .22 caliber handgun after she pulled into her garage. So, imagine, nag-aabang lang siya dun sa garahe.
Tapos, binaril.
Pagka-park niya, paglabas, bang. She survived when the bullet ricocheted off the keys she held in her hands as she lifted them to protect herself. Fuck. Oh, God. Sinalag yung very Wonder Woman. No? Inside the house was her roommate, Daily. Ito yung kanina yun, Daily Okazaki. Kasi nga nakasurvive si Maria Hernandez, si Daily Okazaki na roommate niya, 34, who heard the gunshot, and ducked behind the counter when she saw Ramirez enter the kitchen. When she raised her head, he shot her once in the forehead, killing her.
Ay.
Fuck that. Siguro like susuko siya, like don't hurt me. Gaganon ba siya? Within an hour of the Rosemead house invasion, Ramirez pulled 30-year-old Tsai Lan Yu, which nicknamed Veronica, para madali. Para siguro mga friends niya, no? Do you have an American name? Like Veronica or something? Out of her car in Monterey Park, shot her twice with a .22 caliber handgun and fled. She was pronounced dead upon arrival at the hospital. The two murders and the third attempt in a single day attracted the extensive media coverage. On March 27, 1985, Ramirez entered the home that he burglarized a year earlier in Whittier at approximately 2 a.m. So ito yung sila sa Zara na tinanggalan niya ng mata. While he ransacked the room, Maxine escaped her bonds and retrieved a shotgun from under the bed, which was not loaded.
Bluff lang.
Oo. Si Maxine to ha. Siya yung lola, yung 44-year-old.
44, Lola?
Ay, sorry.
I think it's 64.
Di ba pinatay niya si Vincent with a gun? Sa Zara's wife, Maxine, age 44, was awakened by the gunshot and Ramirez beat her and bound her hands while demanding to know where her valuables were. While he ransacked the room, Maxine escaped her bonds and retrieved a shotgun from under the bed, which was not loaded. Sayang.
Sana tumakbo na lang.
An infuriated Ramirez shot her 3 times with a .22 caliber. Then she fetched a large carving knife from the kitchen. He mutilated her body by stabbing her several times, then gouged out her eyes and placed them in a jewelry box which he left with. Fuck, sobrang inis niya, no? Fuck, you almost killed me. The autopsy determined that the mutilations were post-mortem.
Good. Is that good or bad?
Good. Good. Ramirez left footprints from a pair of Avia sneakers, ito yun, in the flower bed, which the police photographed and cast. This was virtually the only evidence that the police had at the time. Bullets found at the scene were matched to those found at previous attacks, and the police realized that a serial killer was at large. Vincent and Maxine's bodies were discovered by their son, Peter. On 14th of May 1985, Ramirez returned to Monterey Park and entered the home of Bill Doy, 66, and his disabled wife, Lillian, 56. Surprising Doy in his bedroom, Ramirez shot him in the face with a .22 semi-automatic pistol as Doy went for his own handgun. Struggle na pala dapat.
Nagkaroon ng action.
Oo. After beating the mortally wounded man into unconsciousness, Ramirez entered Lillian's bedroom, bound her with thumb cuffs. Wait, what? What? Thumb cuffs? What's a thumb cuff? Handcuff,
Handcuff. Let's Google
Okay,
time.
okay. Then raped her after he had ransacked the house for valuables. Bill Doy died of his injuries while in the hospital. On the night of May 29, 1985, Ramirez drove a stolen... Oh! So, as in handcuff talaga yung tsura, pero for thumb.
For the thumb. Ngayon lang din ako nakakita ng ito. There's such a thing pala. Pwede, it's mga fetish.
Thumb cuff. Or baka kanila kasi yon kasi nga, they're into it. On the night of May 29, 1985, Ramirez drove a stolen Mercedes-Benz to Monrovia and stopped at the house of Mabel. Mabel. Wait. Mabel, nicknamed Ma. Last name Bell.
What?
Mabel Bell.
Seryoso ba yan?
Oo, Mabel Bell. 83. And her sister Florence. May mga talaga nickname. Nickname Nettie Lang. Florence Lang.
Alalayo ng nickname. Well, sa exception
Except
ni
for
Mabel.
Mabel, for Ma.
Kasi may Veronica yun.
Si Silent Yu.
Silent?
Si Veronica. Finding a hammer in the kitchen, He bludgeoned and bound the invalid Lang in her bedroom, then bound and bludgeoned Bell before using an electrical cord to shock the woman. Wow, mahilig siya sa torture, no? After raping Lang,
Hmm.
he used Bell's lipstick to draw a pentagram on her thigh, as well as on the walls of both bedrooms. Ayan, ito Satanism si Kuya.
Does he really practice Satanism or is
Or
he just
ano lang
messing
siya?
up? Yung naglalagay lang ng
Oo,
just
for
to
the
mislead
sake of it.
yung... Okay.
Kasi kung Satanist ka, hindi ka ganito. Kasi
I guess.
they're generally,
Peaceful.
yeah. Discovered 2 days later, both women were found alive but comatose. Bell later died of her injuries. The next day, Ramirez drove the same car to Burbank and snuck into the home of Carol Kyle, 42. At gunpoint, he bound Kyle and her 11-year-old son with handcuffs and ransacked the house. He released Kyle to direct him to where the family's valuables were. He then sodomized her repeatedly. Oh no. With what? Okay. Wala
Diba-
namang sinabi. So,
Female naman siya. But
Okay.
why?
baka then dun sa pinakita ng cousin niyang si Mike.
Yung
In a
ginagawa
way,
niya sa Vietnamese.
Ramirez also repeatedly ordered her not to look at him, telling her at one point that he would cut her eyes out. Yun yung quote, cut her eyes out. He fled the scene after retrieving the child from the closet and binding the two together again with handcuffs. Okay, so hindi naman niya pinatay. As in burglary lang din talaga.
So,
Good for them. Good for them. Well, at least they're still alive. So. On the night of July 2, 1985, he drove a stolen Toyota to Arcadia, randomly selecting the house of Mary Louise Cannon, 75. Chet, so natsyempohan ka lang. After quietly entering the widowed grandmother's home, he found her asleep in her bedroom. He bludgeoned her into unconsciousness with a lamp and then repeatedly stabbed her using a 10-inch butcher knife from her kitchen. She was found dead at the crime scene.
Meron na naman akong i-react.
Sige. Pero for later na.
For later.
Okay. On July 5, 1985, Ramirez broke into a home in Sierra Madre. Uy, dito ba yun? Hindi, sa Amerika pa din. And bludgeoned 16-year-old Whitney Bennett with a tire iron as she slept in her bedroom. Tire iron?
Yung pampalit ng tires. Parang pa-cross.
Oh, okay. After searching in vain for a knife in the kitchen, Ramirez attempted to strangle the girl with the telephone cord.
That's the trouble if you don't bring your own tools. Naghanap ka
Naghanap
dun
ka sa
kitchen,
bahay
wala,
mo.
wala.
Yun yung ginagawa niya, Hindi siya katulad ni BTK na may hit kit.
Hit kit.
Hit kit. And when his victims began to he was startled to see sparks emanate from the cord. And when his victim began to breathe, he fled the house believing that Jesus Christ had intervened and saved her. Bennett survived the savage beating, which required 478 stitches to close the lacerations on her scalp. Shit. Ang sakit.
Ilan?
478 stitches. Sobrang pagbabludgeon yung ginawa sa kanya.
Mukha na siyang cross-stitch nun.
On July 7, 1985, Ramirez burglarized the home of Joyce Lucille Nelson, 61.
Anong nickname? Joke.
Ay, wala. Lucille. Joyce Lucille. 61 in Monterey Park. Finding her asleep on her living room couch, dito lang. He beat her to death using his fists and kicking her in the head. A shoe print from an Avia sneaker was left imprinted on her face. What the fuck?
Ayoko tumawa.
This is sad na nangyari kay
wrong.
Joyce. Pero shit. Sobrang lakas na nag-imprint sa face niya yung shoe print. After cruising 2 other neighborhoods, wow, cruising! another meaning for the word. He returned to Monterey Park and chose the home of Sophie Dickman, 63. Ramirez assaulted, handcuffed Dickman at gunpoint, attempted to rape her, and stole her jewelry. When she swore to him that he had taken everything of value, he told to her, "Swear to Satan." Na parang, sure ka ba? Na ito na lahat. Swear to Satan. Hindi ko alam kung
Seryoso ba siya?
oo, sa Satanism niya or parang sumasakay lang siya sa media
I,
ng
I think,
coverage ng
I think hindi siya seryoso, but he realized that it fits into his narrative. Yung
Satanism niya.
satanic thing. So, pinanindigan na lang niya.
Oo. On July 20, 1985, Ramirez purchased a machete before driving a stolen Toyota to Glendale. He chose the home of Lila Kneeding, 66, and her husband Maxon, 68. He burst into the sleeping couple's bedroom and hacked them with the machete. Then, ito, bumili na siya. So,
Ang
parang,
sarili niya.
parang meron na siyang gamit. He killed them with shots to the head from a 22 caliber handgun. Okay.
Yun pa rin yung
Hindi
baril
pa
niya.
namatay sa machete. So, binaril na lang niya. He further mutilated their bodies with a machete before robbing the house of valuables. Okay. So, may fascination din talaga siya sa pagpatay. Kasi kung hindi mo siya pwedeng sabihin na burglary lang talaga eh. Kasi deads na eh. Pero gusto mo pa rin mutilate.
Tapos gouge mo yung mata pa minsan.
Siguro din yung ginawa ni Maxine. Like, kasi nga di ba sinabihan niya yung isa na don't look at me or I'll take your eyes out. Siguro nakatingin si ate.
Yeah.
After quickly fencing the stolen items from the Kneeding residence, Ramirez drove to Sun Valley. At approximately 4:15 a.m., he broke into the home of the Kovanath family. He shot the sleeping Chianarong Kovanath in the head with a 25 caliber handgun. Chianarong Covenant, killing him in the... lalaki pala si China.
Thailander siguro.
Oo. Killing him instantly. He then repeatedly raped some kid Covenant. Oo nga, parang Thai. Some kid. Beating and sodomizing her. Okay, mahilig si kuya sa sodomy. Pwet? Oo. Ng manok. Kumakain ka ba ng pwet ng manok?
Ay, kwento ako dyan.
Bakit?
Gusto mo ngayon na or later?
Sige, ngayon na.
So, yung office mate ko, one time nasa KFC daw siya.
Mm.
Tapos, nakapila siya. Katabi niya, may table doon, may dalawang baklang kumakain. Tapos, naririnig niya usapan ng dalawa. Siguro, umorder ng Thai part yung dalawang bakla. Tapos, kumakain sila. Sabi nung isa, ayoko to, sabi niya.
Bakit?
Tapos, sabi niya dun sa kausap niya, kumakain ka ba ng puwet? Yung isa, siguro absent-minded. Sagot niya, oo, pagmahal ko.
Well, yeah. No ng manok. Sabi ni Kuya. Ay, mahal mo yung manok?
Ba? Okay, manok
mahal.
ba?
Ano, okay.
Okay.
Di mo naman sinabi agad.
Sorry.
He bound the couple, so beating and sodomizing some kid. He bound the couple's terrified 8-year-old son before dragging some kid around the house to reveal the location of any valuable items, which he stole. During his assault, he demanded that she, and I quote, swear to Satan, unquote, that she was not hiding any money from him. Mahilig siya sa ganun, no? Swear to Satan. Tsaka yung isa, naligtas daw ni Jesus. On August 6, 1985, Ramirez drove to Northridge and broke into the home of Chris and Virginia Peterson. He crept into the bedroom, startling Virginia, 27. Uy, bata na siya. Bata na yung target. Prompting him to shoot her in the face with a 25 caliber semi-automatic handgun. Nagulat lang siya, nabaril na niya. He then shot Chris in the temple and attempted to flee. Chris fought back while avoiding being hit by 2 more shots during the struggle before Ramirez managed to escape. The couple survived their injuries. Okay, wow. Nakasurvive siya.
Great.
That's good news. Pero natatakot ako doon sa you're actively, binabaril ka and ikaw umiiwas ka.
Oh. You know what? Sabi nila, kapag may nang hahabol daw sa'yo ng baril, chances are they're gonna miss.
Pag malayo?
tumatakbo ka.
Pag tumatakbo.
Kahit malapit.
Kahit
siguro.
straight yung takbo mo?
Yeah. Unless trained talaga sila to shoot a moving
Okay.
target. Pero yung mga tabi-tabing
Oo.
holdupper, they're gonna miss. So, malaki pa rin chances mo to get away.
Mm.
Pero, ayaw mo
Talaga?
gawin.
Kasi parang inisip mo kailangan mabilis ka kasi nga mabilis
Oo.
yung speed ng gun.
So, you have
bullet.
to brush up on your cardio.
Yeah. Speak for yourself.
So, ako, hindi, kunin mo na lahat.
Sige na. Oo. Kasi doon nakakita tayo ng mga ganito sa mga CCTV cameras ng mga EJK victims or ng mga political killings. Yung ganito, di ba? Kasi malapit lang eh.
Walang political killings dito sa atin. Ano ka ba?
Who says who? Come on, were you kidding?
Okay.
On August 8, 1985, Ramirez drove a stolen car, Diamond Bar, and chose the home of Sakina Abawath, 27, and her husband. Ay, wait. Okay, yung nakaligtas nga yung dalawa, di ba? Si Chris tsaka si Virginia Peterson. On August 8, 1985, Ramirez drove and chose the home of Sakina Obawath, 27, and her husband Elias Obawath, 31. Sometime after 2:30 a.m., he entered the house and went into the master bedroom. He instantly killed the sleeping Elias with a shot to the head from a 25 caliber gun.
Di ka na magigising nun, ano?
Oo nga.
Tulog ka, tas
Binaril
binaril
ka.
So,
I've always been fascinated na namatay ka ng tulog. Yung nga, bangungot, ganun. Kasi nga, anong feeling nang namatay ka ng tulog?
so nanaginip ka pa 1 second, then
Tapos
the
biglang
next.
you're dead. Wala na.
Parang
So,
hindi ka
parang,
nagising.
parang in a way, tuloy-tuloy lang.
Siguro. If you have a soul, I guess.
He handcuffed and beat Sakina while forcing her to reveal the location of a family's jewelry. So, yun yung style niya, no?
Yeah. Siguro na-enjoy na rin niya yung pagnanakaw. Kasi the first few victims, hindi naman niya ninakaw.
And then brutally raped and sodomized her. He repeatedly demanded that she, ulit, quote, swear on Satan that she would not scream during his assaults. When the couple's 3-year-old son entered the bedroom, Ramirez tied the child up and then continued to rape Sakina right in front of the child. After Ramirez left the home, Sakina untied her son and sent him to the neighbors for help. Ang lungkot naman nun. Pero in a way, parang okay din kasi nga, hindi na, parang masasabi mo bang nice pa din siya kasi nga hindi niya pinatay yung bata.
I guess.
Yeah,
Yun
diba?
yung sa law natin, the less you kill, the better. Pero yung bata kasi is gonna go
Traumatized.
traumatized.
Oo, diba?
It's
Yun
still
lang.
better than killing a kid, I guess.
Ramirez, who had been following the media coverage of his crimes, left Los Angeles and headed to the San Francisco Bay Area. On August 18, 1985, he entered the home of Peter and Barbara Pan. He shot Peter, age 66, in the temple in his sleep with a 25 caliber handgun. He then beat and sexually assaulted Barbara, age 62, before he shot her in the head and left her for dead. At the crime scene, Ramirez used ito yung lipstick na nag-scroll siya ng pentagram and the phrase, quote, Jack the knife on the bedroom wall.
Jack the knife.
Jack the knife. Tinype niya yun. Sinulat niya. When it was discovered that the ballistics and the shoe print evidence from the Los Angeles crime scene matched the Pan crime scene, San Francisco then Mayor Dianne Feinstein divulged the information in the televised press conference. This leak infuriated the detectives in the case, as they knew the killer would be following media coverage, giving him the opportunity to destroy crucial forensic evidence. Ramirez, who had indeed been watching the press, dropped his size 11.5 Avia sneakers over the side of the Golden Gate Bridge that night. He remained in the area for a few more days before heading back to Los Angeles area. Ito pala yung sinabi ko kanina na kinakapon na niya. Kasi nga, alam na niya. On August 24, 1985, Ramirez traveled 76 miles south of Los Angeles in a stolen orange Toyota to Mission Viejo. That night, he arrived at the home of James Romero Jr., who had just returned from a family vacation to Rosarito Beach in Mexico. Romero's son, 13-year-old James Romero III, happened to be awake and heard Ramirez's footsteps outside the house. Thinking that there was a prowler, James went to wake his parents and Ramirez fled the scene. James raced outside and was able to note the color, make, and style of the car, as well as the partial license plate number. Romero contacted the police with this information, believing James had chased away a thief. After this encounter, Ramirez broke into the house of Bill Carnes, 30, and his fiancée, Inez Erickson, 29, through a back door. Ramirez entered the bedroom of the sleeping couple and awakened Carnes when he cocked his 25 caliber handgun.
Ba't ka tumatawa?
Cocked. He shot Carnes 3 times in the head before turning his attention to Erickson. Oh, babae si Erickson, si Inez. Ramirez told the terrified woman that she was the Night Stalker and forced her to swear she loved Satan, as he beat her with his fists and bound her with neckties from the closet. After stealing what he could find, Ramirez dragged Erickson to another room to rape and sodomize her. He then demanded cash and more jewelries, making her, and I quote, swear on Satan, there was no more.
Hold up.
Yep.
Sodomize ulit.
Oo.
29
Style
years
niya
old.
talaga.
Ba't yung mga lola hindi sinasodomize?
Baka may type din talaga siya na isodomize. You can only do so much.
Sorry.
Before leaving the home, Ramirez told Erickson, tell them the Night Stalker was here. Okay, so buhay pa si Erickson. Erickson untied herself and went to a neighbor's house to get help for her severely injured fiancé. Surgeons were able to remove 2 of the bullets from his head and he survived his injuries. Wow, thank you. Thank God. Thank God.
Thank Jesus.
Erickson was able to give a detailed description of the assailants to investigators. The police were able to obtain a cast of Ramirez's footprints from the Romero house. The stolen car was found on August 28 in Wilshire Center. The police were able to obtain a single fingerprint from the rear view mirror despite Ramirez's careful efforts to wipe the car clean of his prints. The print was positively identified as belonging to Ramirez, who was described as a 25-year-old drifter from Texas with a long rap sheet that included many arrests for traffic and illegal drug violations. Kasi meron na siyang
Records. Yung marijuana.
Tsaka may mugshot na siya. Yan. Law enforcement officials decided to release to the media a mugshot of Ramirez from a December 12, 1984 arrest for car theft, and the Night Stalkers finally had a face. At the police press conference, it was announced, "We know who you are now, and soon everyone else will. There will be no place you can hide." Unquote. So, eventually, nahuli din si Kuya Ramirez.
Oh, right after ma-identify na siya, nahuli rin siya agad. So, that's why they really boldly announced na malapit ka nang mahuli.
National television and print media coverage featuring his prison photo flushed Ramirez out from where he was hiding in East LA the very next day. And when he tried to escape the growing lynch mob, it was only the arrival of the police that saved him from the violence. Ito yung nasa ano na kasi siya eh.
Lynch mob? So maraming tao.
Parang nasa bus station siya on August 30. Ayun, Ramirez took a bus to Tucson, Arizona to visit his brother, unaware that he had become the lead story in virtually every major newspaper, television news program across California. After failing to meet his brother, he returned to Los Angeles early in the morning of August 31. He walked past officers who were staking out at the bus terminal in hopes of catching the killer should he attempt to flee on an outbound bus to a convenience store in East Los Angeles. After noticing a group of elderly Mexican women fearfully identifying him as El Matador or the killer, kasi nakita na siya ng mga mga Mexican women. Ramirez saw his face on the front page of the newspaper rack and fled the store in panic. After running across Santa Ana Freeway, he attempted to carjack a woman but was chased away by bystanders who pursued him. After hopping over several fences and attempting 2 more carjackings, he was eventually subdued by a group of residents one of whom had struck him over the head with a metal bar in the pursuit. The group held Ramirez down, relentlessly beating him until the police arrived and took him into custody.
Perfect.
So, nahuli na siya. Imagine na ang dami ng taong humahabol sa kanya. Good luck na lang ang makakatakas pa siya. So, yun yan. Nahuli na siya. Si Kuya. Jury.
Yeah, you can imagine yung relief nung mga lola.
Na nahuli na siya. Jury selection. Tsaka, imagine mo kung hindi siya nakuha agad ng mga polis, baka patay na siya.
Yeah, nakuyog siya eh.
Oo. And, do you think pwedeng sampahan ng kaso yung mga pumatay?
I think there's a certain,
diba?
Sa mga vigilante justice.
Mm-mm.
Pero technically, I think siguro.
Oo.
Meron pa din.
Parang may napanood akong case na ganito sa CSI. Ganito din. So parang yung perpetrator, yung binugbog nila hanggang sa mamatay.
Tapos sila kinasuhan.
Sila yung kinasuhan. Kasi kinuha yung DNA nila, lahat. Tapos lahat ng merong match, parang in a way, ikaw sumuntok ka din.
So,
If you took part with the beating, kulong ka din.
Yikes.
Yun yung ending. Nakulong din sila. Yung mga taong tumulong in a way.
Ay.
Kasi nga, binugbog nila. Jury selection for the trial began July 22, 1988. At his first court appearance, Ramirez raised a hand with a pentagram drawn on it and yelled, "Hail Satan." On August 3, 19... Mahilig na sa theatrics si Kuya. No? Dito siya sa Satanism niya. The Los Angeles Times reported that some jail employees overheard Ramirez planning to shoot the prosecutor with a gun, which Ramirez intended to have smuggled into the courtroom. Consequently, a metal detector was installed outside and intensive searches were conducted on people entering. On August 14th, the trial was interrupted because one of the jurors, Phyllis Singletary, did not arrive at the courtroom. Later that day, she was found shot to death in her apartment. The jury was terrified as they could not help wondering if Ramirez had somehow directed this event from inside his prison cell.
May siya, kasabwat.
If he could reach other jurors. However, Ramirez was not responsible for Singletary's death, as she was shot and killed by her boyfriend, who later committed suicide. False alarm lang pala.
Panggulo buwis.
With the same weapon in the hotel. The alternate juror who replaced Singletary was too frightened to return to her home. On September 20, 1989, Ramirez was convicted of all charges, 13 counts of murder, 5 attempted murders, 11 sexual assaults, and 14 burglaries. During the penalty phase of the trial on November 7, 1989, he was sentenced to die in California's gas chamber. He stated to reporters, sige, ano yan?
So, may ganun din pala method of execution.
Oo nga nagulat ako gas chamber. Napa-breathe in ako dun He stated to reporters after the death sentence, and I quote, "Big deal, that always went with the territory. See you in Disneyland," unquote. Parang we're all going to die anyway, so parang ganon. See you guys there.
Well, if you are a believer of Satan, you would know, you would think
Then there's a life after death.
Not just that, may heaven and hell. So what makes you think that you're going to the same place as your other people?
What do you mean? Like mapupunta siya sa hell?
Siya. So,
di ba gusto din naman niya yun in a way?
So, hindi mag-apply yung see you.
Kasi nga, kung ganong concept, so,
yeah.
Okay. The trial costed $1.8 million, which at that time made it the most expensive in the history of California until O.J. Simpson. By the time of the trial, nagkaroon siya ng fans. Ramirez had fans who were writing him letters and paying him visits. Beginning in 1985, Doreen Leoy wrote him nearly 75 letters during his incarceration. In 1988, Ramirez proposed to Leoy, and on October 3, 1996, they were married in California, San Quentin State.
What the fuck?
For many years before Ramirez's death, Leoy stated that she would commit suicide when Ramirez was executed. However, Leoy eventually left Ramirez. So much for Anong tag doon? Love.
Till
That do us part. By some estimates, he would have been in his early 70s before his execution was carried out due to California's lengthy appeal process. Like, appeal din pala siya. Ramirez had pending appeals until the time of his death. Ramirez died of complications secondary to B-cell lymphoma at Marin General Hospital in Green Bay, California on June 7, 2013. Recently lang.
So, hindi dun sa gas chamber.
Hindi siya sa yun lang siya yung mamamatay. Kaya lang may appeal siya. Super tagal. He had also been affected by chronic substance abuse and chronic hepatitis C viral infection. At 53 years old, he had been on death row for more than 23 years. Parang siya sabi nga niya na baka 70s na siya bago siya ma-execute.
Sobrang tagal.
Kasi nga may appeal pa.
Nauna na siya namatay.
Nauna na siya mamatay kaysa sa appeal niya. Sa death sentence niya. So that is Richard Ramirez for you.
Oh my God. Yun pala yung story niya. Kasi ang naalala ko lang sa kanya is yung nickname niya, The Night Stalker. At yun nga, yung nakalimutan ko actually yung part ng mga lola eh. Yun, tsaka yung lynch mob nung nahuli siya.
Nahuli siya, na pinagkahabol siya ng mga tao kasi nakilala na siya.
At hindi ko rin nga maalala yung face niya. So, nung tinignan ko kanina, nakaka-shock nga medyo mukhang he fits the part.
Yeah. So, yung tatay niya din pala apparently, policeman, he prone to physical abuse din si kuya.
Nung bata siya. Do you think na kailangan talaga niya ng pera? That's why he committed those murders? Or parang sideline na lang niya yun?
I think kailangan niya din talaga ng pera.
So, yun yung, pero ako I would think na kailangan niya ng pera at the same time, he's satisfying yung urge niya na pumatay. Yeah, kasi
So, parang pareho.
marami kasing times na pwedeng nagnakaw na lang siya but still pinatay pa rin niya sila. Kasi remember, may isang time na ninakawan lang niya, hindi niya pinatay. He did not do that again. Yung iba,
pinatay niya.
Diniretso niya na. So, medyo papunta talaga siya ng killer more than a burglar. Tapos,
Yung pinsan niya din kasi,
si Gagong Mike.
Na pinakitaan pa siya ng severed head of a woman he abused. Like, may Polaroid pa.
So, parang na-ingrain sa kanya na it's okay to do these things.
Oo, na parang tinaruan siya ng mga military skills, killing, kung paano yung process.
Tapos ito the fact na random ang selection niya
ng pagpatay.
Ng yung mga victims. Hindi siya methodical like we said about BTK. Random. He doesn't even bring his own torture tools. Yung knives. Hanap
na siya sa bahay.
Tapos, he brings Satan into the mix. What does that tell you? Ako ang gets ko doon, parang it's more of a game. Parang para sa kanya. Na he's not, yung urge niya, parang pag naramdaman niyang gusto niyang gawin niya, gagawin niya. He doesn't really, yung research or mag-stake out muna a few days dun sa gusto niyang victims and intended niya.
Random lang talaga eh.
Hindi siya nag-eliminate nung sino yung mga gusto niyang patayin.
Target.
And yet, very successful siya. Because yung pool din niya ng victims are mostly matatanda. Diba?
Which is madaling.
So,
i-overpower.
Easy prey. Tapos mabibilib ka rin sa part ng forensics na yung in-apply ng mga detectives.
Yung sa shoe print ba to?
Shoe print, tapos yung naiwan yung fingerprint sa mirror, yun yung final na nag-incriminate sa kanya, diba? Kahit pinunasan niya.
Nakuha pa din.
Galing.
Nahuli din siya sa mga prior cases niya. Like car theft.
Hindi ko sinasabi na sana mangyari yan, pero to have lived in that area in that time, it must be scary. Pero imagine mo yung excitement ng mga tao siguro nung mahuli siya. So, I guess some of the people na nakisapak sa kanya, parang kung nakulong man ako.
Justice.
Oo. Oh my God.
Kaya parang in a way, hindi mo sila, you can't blame them.
Yeah.
Kasi nga,
Hmm.
ano
Kasi
ba?
yung tinerrorize niya talaga yung
Mm.
spread, di ba? First sa Valley lang and then pinalitan tuloy yung nickname niya.
Shit, ano ba yan? Ba't ka lumipat?
So, imagine mo kung nagpalit siya ng modus na araw siya umatake. So,
Shit,
magpapalit na
Night
naman yung
Hindi na pwede yung Night
Pwede
Stalker.
Night Stalker.
Kainis. What now?
My God. What
Eh,
drives
Richard
these people to
Ramirez.
do these
Pero meron
things?
siyang shot na okay yung itsura niya.
Tingin.
Hanapin ko na lang. Hindi, nung bata pala siya noon.
Alam mo, kung kasama sa modus niya yung nangangagat siya ng victims, ang aga niya sana
Shit.
nahuli.
Very
Medyo-
Ted Bundy, no?
Medyo unique.
Nangangagat.
Yung kanyang,
Kasi si Ted Bundy nangangagat, di ba?
oo, nangangagat siya.
Yung pinsan ko yung nangangagat.
Pinsan mo?
Ay, hindi. May kaaway ka ba? Mga pinsan mo, may nakakaaway ka.
Wala.
Parang nung bata kami, ganun yung awayan namin.
Kagatan.
Kagatan sa braso. Makikita mo may bite mark ka na sa braso mo.
Wala.
Kasi pag magkasama kami sa isang crib, ganun. Ayaw ko. Kakagatan kami.
Grabe. Ang aga mo nag-display ng
Animalistic.
tendencies.
Yeah.
Shit.
Kamusta, Richard Ramirez? Na hindi siya namatay via death
naudlat.
sentence, but old age.
You know, kung magkakaroon ng serial killer dito sa atin, he would probably be somewhere near sa territory ng
Ni
ganyang
Richard
story.
Ramirez.
Richard Ramirez.
Kasi may burglary
Burglary, random, parang, tapos wala naman siyang hindi naman talaga siya ng torture too much. Parang medyo
rape lang din. Gusto niya lang din ng rape. Gusto niya lang
sodomy.
sodomy.
Pero except sa matatanda.
Hmm.
Respect.
The elderly.
Sign of respect. Okay, so
that's Richard Ramirez, the Night Stalker. Wow.
siya yung pinaka-favorite kong nickname. The
Bakit?
Night Stalker.
Bakit naman?
Ewan ko, di ba ako stalker?
Kasi medyo it resonates. Wow! Sa stalker part.
Ang ganda. May popular media, pop culture, anong
Ay, sa kanya?
are there movies? Songs?
Well, meron documentaries. Well, lahat naman sila. Nakanood din ako ng isa sa YouTube ng documentary niya.
Tsaga mo din talaga sa serial killers.
Oo. Usually, may mga TV movie lang. Mga ganun. History Channel, Richard Ramirez, Crime Library. So, mga,
Meron kaya
in a way,
sa,
documentary lang.
Forensic Files.
Not sure.
What made you choose him over other serial killers para isali sa list mo?
Gusto ko lang yung mga nangyari sa kanya in the past. Nang bago siya nag-start sa killings. Yung fact na pinakitaan siya ng pinsan niya. Kasi parang, in a way, yun ba yung reason na pinakitaan ka ng gore nung bata ka? Kasi mahilig ako sa horror comics nung bata ako.
May na-unlock sa utak niya.
Oo. Kasi, ano ba? Di ba may uso yung comics dati? Mga Pinoy? Pinapabili ko sa Ermat ko mga horror comics. Hanggang sa, to the point na napapanaginipan ko na sila yung mga horror stories.
Nakita ni Yaya Percy.
Nakita ni Yaya Percy. Shit. Tinago. Ayun. Tsaka yung sa pinsan niya na pinatay yung asawa. Pinatay ni Mike yung asawa niya right in front of.
Yeah.
Na parang, how cold can you get? Tapos yung head, ayun, parang dapat okay lang ba siya kung hindi nangyari yung mga yun?
Na-desensitize siya, no?
Ng violence at an early age. So parang burglary yung main? Ganun ba yung? Or tapos secondary na lang yung? Or it's the other way around?
I think mas nanaig yung violence part, yung sa murder part. Tas
nakawan ka na rin to.
Take
Sayang
away na
naman
lang niya yung...
Okay.
Ito pa, something that really bothers me. Random siya mamili, but somehow, nire-rate niya sila.
Oo.
So, he doesn't really choose yung, wala siyang pakialam kung anong itsura.
Tsaka yung, napaka-random nga niya na in a sense na minsan hindi niya papatayin. Meron siyang, di ba? Meron siyang hindi pinatay.
Kaya nga, kaya parang game siya sa akin. Was there ever a chance na ano pala siya, mentally,
Yeah.
oo,
Ay, hindi siguro nila
hindi siya nag-contest.
ng insanity plea, no? Sayang.
Yeah.
Sayang.
Sayang.
Well, okay lang din naman kasi hindi naman na-carry out yung sentence.
Out of all the serial killers na tackle natin, si Richard Ramirez, palitan mo yung setting ng Pilipinas, hindi magiging out of place, no?
Oo.
Parang
Very Pinoy.
parang there's
Na
a possibility
walang-
of that happening. Lalo yung media. Diba?
Nai-block ng ng media yung mga alam nila.
Yeah. Okay, ang ganda, ang saya.
Ni Richard Ramirez.
I love the research.
Thank you.
Thank
Sa
you.
mga friendly websites natin.
Alright.
Uy, if there's anything that you would like to add.
Sa discussion today or
Any
anything
past
in
discussions?
general, yeah. Just
You
tweet
can
us.
or email us at cripsilog@gmail.com. Tweet
Or-
us.
At Cripsilog.
Uh,
Or text me.
Uy! Wow! So, what's your number?
Oh, malapit na tayo matapos sa top 10. It's so sad.
Okay. Pero exciting din kasi we are on new boundaries. New boundaries?
New
on
territories.
new
yes.
territories.
But I really think eventually we're gonna go back to murderers.
Murders. Not necessarily serial killers,
yeah.
pero
Kidnappers. Isa pa yung maganda.
Gusto ko din
yun,
yung
yes.
disappearances. Gusto
Yes.
ko yun.
Basta, true crime.
True
I love
crime.
true crime.
Pero, pabebe.
Fair.
Lilipat ba tayo muna? For season 2, something na not related to killings ba?
I think. Ito pala. Something I've been meaning to ask you. What? I don't think dapat sa episode na to ito. Pero sige, nasimulan ko na rin din. What separates horror from creepy para sa'yo?
Kasi pag horror, parang ang tingin ko, it involves creatures. May something. Tapos pag creepy kasi, it can be humans. Yung mga ganon.
Yeah.
More on humans.
Is that
Creepy
your,
behavior.
That's your take on it.
Pag horror kasi, more on creatures like underworld, mga ganon.
Oh, yeah. Ako kasi, para sa akin, pag horror, there's an element of fantasy or fiction. So, when you say we're a horror podcast, parang parang included lahat ng mga ganun. Which is, we're not saying no, pero
we will eventually.
yeah, I guess. Pero ako kasi, I prefer yung creepy stuff. Like the more realistic
Yeah.
horror.
Na something that will happen
Ayan,
in your
scary real
life.
life. Parang ganun na nangyayari. Which is why when I pitch to you like topics na medyo supernatural pero may horror element like yung aswang-aswang. I'm not really saying yung aswang like that we see in the movies, yung ganun. I'm talking about real life experiences ng mga kakilala ko sa suspected nilang aswang.
Okay.
So you can imagine the level of realism.
Parang mas
dun,
maganda.
na doon nang galing yung fascination ko dun sa creepy part. Na it's not just really scary horror na gory, pero kakilala niya, yung ganun. So I think yun yung nakaka-ano sa akin. Naka-turn on.
Yung pala. So this is your king. So eventually we will talk about that.
I hope so. Sige.
Okay. So, follow us
Yeah.
on
Follow us
on podcast app, on iTunes, tsaka Spotify.
Yeah.
Rate us 5 stars. Wow. If you like us, rate us 5 stars.
Follow Gideon on his way to work.
no.
Stalker.
Follow sa lang, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, Gideon Wabi.
The Glenn Tot. And Wala
We'll
tayong
see you.
babatiin?
Ay,
Wala
oo
na.
nga.
Wala na, okay na.
Nasabi ko, nagsabi pa tayo kanina. Okay.
Kanina?
Kanina.
No, you mean last week.
Nakakainis. Last week, sorry. Yeah, last episode. Talaga na.
Oh yes, general thank you na lang
Sa lahat ng supporters. Wow.
Supporters. No, but there are really
Sa
people
everybody
who,
listening.
thank you for the response. Thank you for saying that we are funny, we make you laugh. That's always the intention.
As if we're buddies.
To make light of these bad things and to bring happiness and joy. Mercy and compassion, bitch. Okay.
See you next episode.
See you next time. Bye.
Bye.
Cripsilog. Cripsilog.
Cripsilog.